Hello, my name is Chance, and this is my first video. If you know me before, you would know that I tried this YouTube thing a few times before, but this time it's gonna stick. It's gonna stick, guys. I promise I'm staying here. And the reason I'm back is because I want to talk about some advice that we think is good advice, is socially accepted as good advice. It's such a ushy, gushy, good feely, Disney Channel good advice that we give to kids, young adults, and everyone alike. But however, I think when you boil it down, it's completely rubbish. And that advice is just be yourself. I'm sure you're thinking right now, oh, Chance, you don't want people to be themselves? You want them to be someone else? Are you like evil? Or what am I supposed to do now? I have no more effective systems to live life by other than just be yourself. Wait. I'm gonna give y'all some good advice whenever we're done with this video. Well, at the end of it. Before I give you the good advice, I'm going to break down why just be yourself is actually, in fact, bad advice. Number one, this advice offers little to no guidance. You know, we have friends, right? Yeah, we all have friends. Let's say, I'm gonna give you all a couple hypotheticals. So let's say you have a friend named Sam, he or she, hypothetical gender neutral, Sam, and they see a cool person they want to talk to named Leslie. Again, hypothetical gender neutral, whatever. If you're a guy watching this video, if you're a girl watching this video, I don't care. Insert. Okay, I will say, every time I think of Leslie, I think of either like a Mall Valley girl, or I think of like a 50-year-old biker dude on the brink of retirement. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'll probably provide pictures to back up my quip. Sam wants to meet Leslie as a friend, because apparently Leslie has so much aura, and they're cool. And they must be magnetic in that way. But however, Sam is really nervous. And in fact, Sam has always been nervous, you know, maybe even as a kid, and we might know Sam their entire lives. You know what we say? We're like, hey, man, it's cool, just be yourself. Alright, so Sam goes over to Leslie and approaches them, and 5 minutes later they come back and they might have airballed. Sam may or may not have just got rejected as a friend. Well, now it's our fault because we told Sam to just be themselves. And the reason we say that is because we don't know fully what that means. A lot of the words we speak have subconscious power that we are not aware of. So I don't know. I'm not saying Sam is cursed to never have Leslie as a friend, but we did kind of set Sam up for failure on this one. And I'll tell you why. Because when we tell people to just be themselves, it offers no guidance because we are already telling them, hey, make no change. You are perfect the way you are. Please go along with the systems and devices and even tactics, you know, survival tactics that we have used in life that may have served us at one point but are no longer effective. People can accidentally channel their ways of living that were once effective but no longer serve them, and are often quite maladaptive in adulthood, such as, you know, isolation, anxiety, second guessing, people pleasing. I know this is digging pretty deep, but I feel it's relevant. When we give our friends or give ourselves no proper guidance or no guardrails to like succeed in social situations, they're not doing as good as they could. And in this situation is to just take deep breaths, or, you know, the world's not going to fall apart, or rejection is not a permanent state. You get what I'm saying. If you tell people just be yourself, even after watching this video, it is horrible advice. You gotta stop it. Like I said, with the mechanisms and ways of living that no longer serve us but once did, you know what? What you may not realize is some of your friends might be crazy. And I'm not saying that to be funny, but like maybe like restraining order crazy, can't get their kids back crazy. I know you're probably laughing right now, but it's the truth. You tell your friend, Walter, just be yourself. How many of you have friends that have slashed your boyfriend's tires before? Or at least thought of doing so? How many of you have friends that almost pulled up to his girlfriend's work unannounced? Or at least thought of doing so? This is all just a long highway to say, just be yourself is, in the wrong hands, a free pass to act how you have been acting with no critical thought. It provides no solace to the anxious, and it provides no structure or rules or consequences for the malintent.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Now, the second reason why just be yourself is actually really bad advice is because it worsens the letdowns of life. Let's go back to Sam and Leslie. Sam got rejected by Leslie probably because they were acting a dang fool because of their anxiety. Instead of realizing, hey, maybe I should have taken a few deep breaths, maybe I could have, collected myself better. Maybe, I know I'm always bad with new people and I could have gone about this in a better way. Or maybe I shouldn't have been so scared to talk to Leslie. They're only a person and the worst they can do is say no. Since you're pursuing them in a friend sense and not a significant other sense, the word no is probably just temporarily. They're probably caught up in something right now. You probably caught them at a bad time. But instead, because we told them to just be themselves, we said, Sam, just be yourself. Sam now thinks the cause of the rejection is Sam's own disposition and immutable and unchangeable characteristics that belong solely to them. In other words, they think it's their fault and they can't change it, which that is a horrible feeling. Walking in with just being myself, and I walk into a situation and it turns south, and now I think it's all my fault because I was just being myself. Maybe instead of just be yourself, we should have given Sam a different piece of advice. Maybe not quite what I'm going to share with you guys here in a minute, but, a little different piece of advice. Take deep breaths, or, if things seem awkward, maybe Leslie's going through something, or you don't know the other person. So, they're not going to take you, run back, and butcher you if things don't go your way. No one is out to get you, basically. The moment I've been waiting for, you've been waiting for, we've all been waiting for, is the advice that I'm about to share with you. We are always in a constant state of practice. I don't think I've ever said that to someone and it's gone bad. Reminding people that we are in a constant state of practice in this game we call life. I'll tell you why this is good. I would highly recommend you substitute any instance of just be yourself with either this advice or another piece of advice, because I feel like this advice is actually highly constructive. It encourages us to walk into scenarios or just other things with good decisions, or try to have a good mind, a good head on our shoulders. And while it does emphasize the idea of second chances, people don't like completely ruining their first chances. Class, raise your hand if you like destroying your first chances. When people are reminded they are in a state of practice, they like to do good. We rely on our structures rather than devices that we've grown up on. And the second reason why this advice is just definitively better than the advice that we would normally give is because there is a lesser sense of true failure. So let's say Sam comes back and reports back to you about Leslie, and alright, they were just being themselves. They now think it's their fault because they were just being themselves, and that's now the thing they're going to attribute it to. Whereas if they got rejected, if Sam still got rejected, they can remind themselves, I'm in a constant state of practice. I can either try this again, or maybe it was a bad time, or I don't know what's on Leslie's plate. It encourages us to be more mindful, and because of that mindfulness, we are less focused on the failure that we have just come up with. And in fact, I don't think I like the word failure either. I don't think I like the word failure either, because there's different paths in life. Another word is not coming to mind, but failure is not it, so take that word with a grain of salt. Because here's my deal. Failure implies no chance of redemption. When we say we have failed, when we fail at something, we say, I have failed. I have achieved no success. I now have no chances of gaining that success. You know, there's no redemption from this. Whereas it's not like that. Sometimes the decisions that we make are a free-form line leading to other directions, not so much as you fall in a hole and fall straight to sunlight on the other side of the earth. One thing about people, about humans, about just, you know, us, is at our spirit, at our core, at our roots, we are really dramatic. We know how to turn an anthill into a mountain. Yes, we know how to make things sound much worse than they really are when it's just not that deep. Just buckle up and get a helmet. It's not that bad. Sometimes I'll go on TikTok and see videos of people like crying their eyes out, and it's like, you would think someone in their life had passed away. You would think they had lost like a really high paying job. You would think they had just, you know, got their car stolen. Insert tragedy right here. But it's like, no, they're crying because their former significant other blocked them on social media after they just pulled up to their work unannounced. No. Me personally, I'm not much of a crier, or at least in public or in, you know, in front of people. I do a lot of my mourning in private. I feel like that's kind of the way to go, honestly. But even I know some things just don't warrant that. Some people get in their car and scream and cry on social media. On social media. I have no problem if you're doing that by yourself, but if you're propping up your camera just to scream and bawl and have it for other people to see and look back on it, watch it on your phone. All right, good, I can post that. No, that rubs me the wrong way. I don't like that. Some things just aren't that serious. Far be it for me to say, I'm only 22 years old. Trying to find a way to wrap this up. Being in a constant state of practice, it lessens our sense of failure. And I think it's just objectively better for our mental health to remind ourselves that we are in a state of practice, because failures don't feel as bad. And it reminds us to walk into things with good practices. I'll tell you when this first came about and why I started thinking deeply about this. Almost a piece of advice I kind of pulled out of my... Formerly, I was a bar bouncer. I worked there for about half a year. You see tons of dramatics as a bouncer. So there was this girl who came up to me, and I don't know what it was. It was over some guy. And it wasn't a guy rejected her. It was like a certain situation where she admitted that she was, like, I hate to say the crazy one, but I don't know what she did, but it was kind of crazy. She might have actually pulled up to his work. I know I keep joking about that, but she might have actually pulled up to his work or his house unannounced and tried to solve things while he was in the middle of something, and now he won't talk to her. So I told her, by the way, this girl's probably drunk too, by the way. I told her that we are always in a constant state of practice. So there is no such thing as real failure. I have told her multiple things at once without maybe y'all realizing it or her realizing it, but she did cry and she did take it to heart. I told her that it is optimal in this situation to walk in as a better version of yourself, worked on yourself a little bit, not what is easily accessible. And I also told her, don't treat this like it's the end of the world, because even if a person ghosts you, so what? To my point, this may not be the complete whole blocking and rejection and never speak to him ever again that she thinks it is. You know, there is a chance of working this out whether she believes it or not. And I wonder how she's doing now, but I don't know. She teared up. It was happy tears. It wasn't like sad dramatic tears. You know, she teared up and she's like, you know what? That's the nicest thing that someone's ever said to me. I feel like this advice is not common. We are always in a constant state of practice. And that's my whole spiel for today. I hope you guys actually got something out of this, and I hope this applies to your real lives. With that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It has been a joy having you with me. And always remember, we are always in a constant state of practice, so failure is never absolute.